Welcome back to another episode of Criterion Cult Podcast. You just heard a dope-ass metal riff from Diego the Demon Diaz.
Now Wayne's brother.
Well, the
Damon Wayne's brother.
You know, the Damien the Demon. You know, it all makes sense.
Damien the Demon. Yeah.
But, yeah, so if you like that theme song, hit up Diego.
He does birthday songs.
No, it's great. It's
all
dope.
kinds of
It's dope. We love our theme song. But I'm one of your hosts, Jordan Garcia. We got
Mondra Avizu here.
Ignacio Villalma.
Hell yeah.
And Diego the Demon Diaz. What's up, cult members? What's
Fuck
up?
Yeah.
Woo.
Hell yeah. And today, in case you are
take
just
it down a notch.
if you're just joining us, if you never heard our podcast before, so what we do here on the Criterion Cult is four of us come together and we talk about a film that's on the Criterion Collection, and every episode one of us brings a film that we think should be in the collection, and then the other three vote it in or out. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's basically just four dudes with no credits or anything trying to get Criterion to sponsor us and give us money. Because, you know, it's hard to pay for those Blu-rays. You know, they're pretty expensive unless the sale rolls through. But it doesn't matter because we're going to get free shit pretty soon, guys. I believe in us.
Hell yeah.
I hope
Hell
so.
yeah.
I can't wait. Get me in that closet.
It's gonna be great. And so again, if you don't really know what the Criterion Collection is, it's this great company that puts out a bunch of different films from all over the world, all different time periods, and they put them out in these great qualities where you get just a great packaging, great special features, artwork is great. The sound quality is just done better. It's just the picture quality is great. Essays from all these great people who like understand these movies in a different way and give you these great kind of insights on these things. Right. So that's Criterion. But today we are doing what, Diego?
So my two films, Criterion film that I'm bringing to the pod is Insomnia, and the film I chose to bring forth to the panel today, my fellow host,
Chopping block.
is I Saw the Devil.
Hell yeah. Explain a little about Insomnia. It's not the Chris Nolan
No,
remake.
It's not. So I'm going to get into Insomnia first, and we'll get back to I Saw the Devil a little later. So Insomnia is made in 1997. It came out in 1997. Norwegian/Swedish film directed by, it's the original. There is a U.S. version of this, but we watched the original. It is directed by Erik Skjoldbjaerg. Starring.
Wow, that was good.
I've been practicing.
That was honestly better than I would have said it because it's spelled Skjoldbjaerg.
Trust me, I practiced.
I tried to say that out loud.
There's that tool anemia lettering. With
yeah. So it stars Stellan Skarsgard.
Who, if you might know, he's in a bunch of stuff. He's not like someone who's not known. He's in Thor, actually. Yeah. He's in like a bunch of stuff.
He was in Good Will Hunting.
We talked about him in Melancholia.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
Von Troyer fans, he was an Nymphomaniac.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So he stars in it as well as his female counterpart in this film is Ginskig Armand.
Okay.
I might have butchered that one.
No, that was actually pretty good. I like that.
What you would consider, I guess, the antagonist, or at least his foe in the film.
Well, if you've seen the remake, the Robin Williams part.
Character, yes.
Robin Williams.
Wow, you're all over the place today.
I'm having a great time.
Bjorn Floberg.
There you go.
So it's a crime thriller. Psychological thriller about a forensic detective, I guess agent, who gets sent to Norway to help solve a murder of a 17-year-old girl named Tanya. And he's just there to assist, really, the Stellan Skarsgard's character, rather. And then it just becomes kind of a cat and mouse chase between him and would be the murderer, and basically everything that unravels in between that. To start off with,
but another thing to kind of like set the kind of tone of that is that where they are, there's no like dark.
Right. So a big thing the big theme throughout the film is that in Norway it's during their summer solstice. So they have what they call the midnight sun, which means 24-hour daylight throughout the whole time he's there.
It's just a part of Norway, though, right? I think
they
said
over
northern
the Arctic,
Norway.
Arctic Circle.
Yeah,
once you go over that, because even in the remake, the part of the Alaska that they're in is the same thing.
So it's like it's called Insomnia because he can't sleep because he fucked up and he's a piece of shit, but also because there's all kinds of light in his hotel room.
Right.
And it's like, it's hard to sleep.
Yeah, so it's not just it's not just the fact that he's just this psychological aspect to it, but also nature's playing a big toll on him.
Right.
Yeah.
So to begin with, the first scene is pretty well done. The fact that you see the killer.
It reminds you of one of your home movies.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, something I do on the weekend. Basically, like washing the hair of the girl he killed, taking away any sort of DNA from the fingernails. That's pretty brilliant. I found that to be like a really good.
It was a very cool
scene.
intro.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they do that in the American remake. They don't
so.
show you the crime. And to show you like the crime at the first in that kind of way, it's because it's not filmed like that the rest of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
When they show you that, it's sort of like a home movie.
All
very gritty, grainy.
Yeah.
And so, but another thing too that's very interesting about that is that it does feel very much like, okay, so it's someone who's mad, but they didn't maybe mean to kill that girl.
Right. It's more like they did. It's a crime of passion rather than something that was thought out. And you kind of learn more about it as the film goes on. So you follow Skarsgård's character, kind of being very arrogant, very prideful as an investigator. Yeah, and he does a good job at like portraying that, being a very like kind of like I run the show.
He's Stellar Skarsgård in this movie.
Yeah, he is. There you go.
No, he's really good in this fucking movie.
Yeah,
Can I point out one thing about Skarsgård in this? Is that he doesn't look like creepy Skarsgård.
Well,
at
see
the big.
No, he
does. At the beginning, for the beginning of the film, like he doesn't.
Before he starts weighing down and all.
Not to
that.
like his whole demeanor change is at a certain point, but we'll get
that
to that later. But he's not the guy like where you just always seem like there's something up with him. You know?
Sure, right.
This time he doesn't.
But honestly, at the same time, like when I first started, I was gonna bring it up later, but like honestly, like when I first started watching this, I was just like, is he the killer? Like, because I saw I saw Nolan's film before this one, so I saw the remake before it.
Yeah,
so I kind of had an idea of what I thought I had an idea of what I was gonna see.
Right.
But it's not the same at all, which kind of gives me that appreciation for Nolan's remake, is that he was able to kind of like, in a way, dumb it down for American audiences.
Yeah.
And make it more accessible.
Because that whole intro for the Norwegian, Swedish, the original, like the videotape like of the killing and stuff like that that sets the whole tone, and then that like gives you enough information where like if you watch film, okay, we're kind of in for it,
right, for sure.
And the American version, you can't really do that because Americans are gonna have way too many
they
questions.
need to be told what's going on.
And
otherwise they wouldn't have gone like into it as much as you do.
And in the American version, they take time to set up the backstory between Al Pacino and his partner's story.
They have a whole
because that's what you need. Because in this, I think in this Norwegian version, like you don't like that cop is a piece of shit. Stellan Skarsgård is sort of a piece of shit. He does a bunch of like terrible things. Whereas in like Al Pacino,
but that's what I like about this one is because you find out throughout the movie, not just some backstory, that he is a piece of shit. You have to come to that realization. And it doesn't force you to that, and so like it brings a whole different dynamic. And
you're right.
You have to think about it. Like,
you're right.
Yes, and that's why I think this. And that's why I say, in a way, like, they had to dumb it down for American audiences. Because American audiences wouldn't be able to handle the Norwegian.
They couldn't handle Skarsgård
Right. It's a lot deeper. You have to actually
they couldn't handle Skarsgård at that time.
Well, they had
nobody could.
They had to put more storyline into it.
But Skarsgård,
I just wanted to say that I found Skarsgård creepy or kind of weird from the get-go. And I think
I really didn't. I didn't.
I agree with you.
There was just something up with him just from the get-go. In the flight, he's awake, he's looking out the window,
in the words of Nacho, he was handsome.
And he was handsome, but creepy handsome. Yeah. And then he's looking at the case that he's flying over there for, right? And he's like looking at her body, her dead face, and he's just kind of scribbling her out. He
just scribbles on. Like, it just makes you feel so like uncomfortable because the Al Pacino character and I'm always gonna bring up the remake because I think they're pretty two good companion pieces.
Yeah, they are.
I don't
definitely.
think one is bad or worse than the other. I think they're like really good.
Yeah.
I think Nolan really saw this film and was like, okay, I know how to kind of like translate.
I know how to
this.
bring it to,
for
and,
sure.
and it wasn't a bad
sure.
thing. But like, yes, for this one, like I really did feel like Skarsgård, the main detective, who would be Al Pacino in that one, really gave off this really creepy vibe for those things.
And then early on, you find out a little bit of his backstory that he was sleeping with the witness, and people know like he kind of fled. Like, well, he was a Swedish cop, and now he's a special agent. That's why in Norway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's why he
had to leave.
He tells his partner who his name is I think Erik Vick in the film.
Yeah.
He tells his partner like because he kind of like they're talking in the car and he says like I asked for a transfer to Stockholm from where he's I guess stationed at in Sweden. He wants to go to a different area because of all the stuff that's kind of going on, which they don't really touch on too much. They kind of just sprinkle it in and then that's it. Yeah.
And I think that's again as we're talking about that's how. Was what Mondo was saying, that it lets you kind of figure that stuff out on your own. It doesn't give you that information to be like, is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Yeah.
Whereas like the American version, it kind of lets you. It gives
it's
you that
information.
information.
It's not so black and white.
Right. Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And I think that's why I was so like kind of intrigued in this whole thing.
Right.
Where I was just like, oh man, like Stellan Skarsgård, he's the detective trying to find this killer, but we haven't really seen too much besides the opening.
Right.
The killer's this really bad guy.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a lot to the detective's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and it does kind of relate with I saw the devil, and that like maybe like Skarsgård doing the nasty things he did to try to get this information that's kind of like that same thing.
Right.
You have to kind of become that monster in order to find another monster.
Yeah,
exactly.
so
What's
one of
that
the-
line from fucking The Dark Knight? You either become the hero. Or
or you die, or you either live long enough to see yourself become Two-Face,
or you die being the villain or some bullshit.
something like that.
So
yeah,
I wanted to touch on.
hit us up.
I wanted to touch on too, like one of the, like I guess turning
Sorry,
points.
that kept
in
on
the film.
coming to my mind, but yeah.
One of the turning points.
It makes sense. It's the same thing, sort of.
One of the turning points in the film that kind of shows you that it's just going to unravel more so is the fact is towards the beginning of the film they set up this kind of trap to entrap the murderer, the killer, by they find the backpack, but they decided to do kind of like the girl who got killed's backpack. They decided to do kind of like a sting where they kind of put it where they found it to see if the murderer will go back to it.
Right, but they do it by doing a press conference.
And
so they put it on the TV like, oh, we're
saying
looking
for
this
backpack.
Yeah. So that way he can see that they're kind of looking around and poking around and stuff like that. So that scene is probably the turning point because that's the first time you get introduced to the murder, which you don't really see, but then a chase ensues. And Skarsgård, after he falls and stumbles on and all this stuff through the fog, he ends up shooting his partner, which is one of the points that we were trying to kind of point out.
Right.
You start seeing that he's kind of a piece of shit because it doesn't show like he didn't really shoot him for any reason. He just
well the thing is that you get the sense that he shot him on accident.
Right.
Like there was really no reason why he should have shot him. He shot him on accident. So you're just like, oh, why wouldn't he admit to it later on? Because nobody would. But
you do get that feeling that yes, he shot him on accident, but right away he picks up that other gun that the guy dropped.
Yes, right away he snakes it.
Yeah,
he tries to be a snake.
Yeah,
and that's why you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like you didn't do that on purpose. Why won't you just
like? Because he's already done this before. You know, like he's been in this kind of situation.
Yeah,
he knows what to do.
And he's not supposed to have a gun, right?
And then what they're in. Yeah, they're in Norway.
They're in Norway. They're
Norway,
from Sweden.
Yeah, they're in Norway.
Yeah.
But the Norway cops aren't supposed to have a gun.
Right,
and
because
he's
when they
a
do
gun.
the whole bullet thing, they said the Swedish police use these type of bullets.
Yeah, which comes in full circle.
Can we talk about the guy who got shot in the leg? Like how much of a fucking goofball he is? Like
he's probably a comedian.
Well, I mean, so Norwegian police don't carry guns,
so they have to be goofy.
Right? They're
no, but there's
just not like a
defund the police, everyone.
There wasn't abundance of violence and stuff or crimes that
well, I think
around
if you look
them,
into,
so they
like,
didn't have to carry guns and they were just able to be goofy.
Yeah, like if you look into Norway culture, I don't think they have guns.
What do they call
like,
it, bloke?
You know what I mean? they don't really it's not like
Norwegians.
It's not like American culture where people buy up guns if
me, Norwegians.
Right.
Apocalypse happens.
Yes, and there wasn't any kind of crazy murders and like rapes and stuff.
Which is why they were brought in, because the special agents were more equipped to do investigate this.
Because the police the police force around there, like, you don't carry guns. They're not even equipped to like handle shit like that.
Correct.
So that's why they're bringing Skarsgård and his crazy ass because he's sketchy as fuck. And he shows up there and he's just, he's putting his hands where they shouldn't be. He's putting his mouth where it shouldn't be. And you're just like, damn, like, is he the bad guy?
He's banging a girl up against some toilet paper.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're watching this movie and you're like, okay, he's there to figure out who murdered this girl, who they found. But as you watch his story go, you're just kind of like, oh man, like, I guess he's trying to figure out who murdered, but he's doing like really shitty things to figure that out.
Yes,
yes.
He shoots a dog. Thanks, Diego.
Yes, he shoots a dog. He like literally like sexually assaults an underage girl.
Yeah.
He like he literally like watches underage kids have sex when he's like sneaking in that dude's room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's planning evidence.
He was just
he's just doing cop stuff.
Mondo's like, well, he was just there at a certain time. Things happen.
But there's a
He's just doing like.
So there's that whole thing. There's like,
but he didn't have a warrant to go into those places.
No, he didn't.
He was just being a fucking sketch. And so the whole time I'm just like, is he gonna murder somebody? And then so when you finally kind of meet, so if you've seen the remake, it's the Christopher Nolan one, and Robin Williams is the bad guy.
John,
and right away,
John Holt character.
This doesn't really like spoil anything because right away you kind of know who the bad guy is. That's not the point. It's not figuring out who the killer is. It's kind of figuring out how the killer and the cop are gonna like,
they have this weird relationship.
Right? Yeah.
They know. So like the bad guy saw the good guy shoot his friend.
Right.
And so he knows that, and and the good guy's just making up all these stories to try to say, I didn't shoot him.
Right.
And so, but the bad guy's like, but I know.
In the remake, they make it more of a point.
They do.
Where he holds it against him more.
Right.
Right.
But here,
isn't it? I was just gonna say, isn't it kind of odd though that Skarsgård, he was kind of confessing at first that, like, he was kind of admitting to it, and they were just but like cops. The Norwegians, they were
trying to like
they
steer
kind of
Norwegians. Yes,
yeah, they kind of were like, oh no, it was the killer. He
yes,
did
it. As like I mean,
well, because they regard
like what cops would do.
They regard
just
him
like, are you sure that you didn't shoot?
Well, I think
first?
the reason is
like,
because
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because the chief kind of sees him as like this very like prestigious forensic detective, so that's why they don't want to believe that it's him. It's not so much that they're trying to like cover it up or anything like that. They're just trying to make it seem like, are you sure? Like, because we don't want it to be.
It literally was like a foggy, like crazy situation. And another thing that I really loved about this version, which is the original version, is that in the American version, Nolan kind of like downgraded the female detective part.
Hilary Swank plays
more of just like a kind of like a naive local cop.
Yeah.
As opposed to where in this version that she's like a full grown detective.
Oh, she's on it.
And she's like
she's
on
always him. She's always on top of his stuff.
I really like this a lot. I like this a lot better.
Yeah.
Questioning his basically his integrity.
And every time like you see those overlaps of when he's like thinks he got away with something, and she'll just like come up to him and be like, oh well, we found this, like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And I really like that more so than the kind of naive cop in the Alaska town. I like that she was more of like an assertive like detective, and that she was just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking like figure this shit out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like one of the best scenes is the part where he shows up and they're in the garage. And she goes like, there's something else going on. We should go investigate this author character, John Holt. And he goes like, okay, I'll request.
Skarsgård's already like kind of met the
and he kind of already did his thing, but he kind of goes like, I'll request for what's it called, a warrant or whatever.
Yes.
And she goes like, already got one. Like he's kind of like fuck,
yeah,
you know, he's like, fuck.
But I mean, he's just as quick because he's already like investigated the author.
Yeah.
And then she's like just catching up, but I mean, she's just like one really close step behind him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I mean, you see, like Skarsgård is a good detective.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he's doing. But...
Yeah, he's. Well, I mean, he's really good at trying to cover himself up, and that's the thing. But you see the bad side of. Yeah,
but she also knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's doing a good job at trying to solve the case. Where he's just like although he already solved it, he's trying to cover all that up. Yeah. He's working. But
you have to prove it too. You can't just he did it.
For sure. Yeah. I think that was a pivotal point. But yeah, you brought up a good point at saying that the female character was a little bit more assertive.
Yeah, it was just more developed, even though they don't show her as much, because in the American version they try to make her kind of not a love interest, but they sort of like keep her. No, they just like keep her
like a sidekick,
sort of like nipping at the heels of Al Pacino.
Yeah,
just
like
to
a little
be there.
Dog, like being like. I mean,
whereas like
sorry, not like.
I don't say that.
She's just excited to be on this
I know
case,
what you're saying, but
just...
here they actually make like, even though she's not in a bunch of like scenes, she's like a full grown character.
Yeah.
She's her own detective. She's her own person.
Yeah, I did want to see more of her, like
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, her character was played out like like enough, to see. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like they didn't try to make it like a dramatic love interest. Or try to make her. Like the female in the way that the American movies do, where they try to like kind of integrate them with the protagonist.
Yeah, she's only interesting because she's a love interest. And,
Yeah. Whereas here,
this wasn't that
she's
at all.
Interesting because literally every scene she pops up, she's like,
she's smart.
She's asking questions. She's a smart detective.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's
she's
just
like, she's on him. She's
on. She knows her job well. She does it well, and she's as smart as he is.
Right.
You know.
And she's like pretty much. Maybe a little bit smarter than him, because and that's another thing I really liked about this version as well, even though again, this version made me appreciate the Nolan version a lot more, but because it's totally different, but it's the same in a bit, but in the Nolan version they don't give me the same sense of like literally like that bright light where you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like here, he's like exhausted. Every scene, he looks like he.
It just gets worse and worse, more weird.
Yes, and Al Pacino doesn't really have that in the remake. You know what I mean? You don't feel that he's.
I mean,
tired.
they try to do that, but
they try. No, for sure.
But yes, in this film, they build the suspense more. It's more thrilling. It's a little more like. Yeah,
it's a little more exhausting.
The light is playing a bigger character than in the other one,
Super.
I like that because I feel like you kind of experience that in the it's
you feel it for sure.
Exactly.
You see that brightness. Yes. In those scenes, you're just like, oh shit.
Like he like blocks out the light, but there's still this beam just straight at him.
Yes.
When he's laying in bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, how could you fucking sleep like that?
And it's like that theme of like like his darkness. All this stupid shit that he's doing can't hide from that light.
Exactly.
Like that light.
Right. It's always on him. Yeah. It's almost like a spotlight.
It's just like no matter what he does, and like what we were talking about with him seeing the ghost of that guy that he killed, his partner.
His partner.
Like that's like the light being like you can't outrun. Like your darkness can't outrun.
Eventually it's gonna catch up with you.
You can't hide in the bright light. Like everything is always shining on you.
Yeah.
And that was the thing with the director, because there's like a little interview with the director and Skarsgård 20 years later, like 2014 or something like that, and he talks about like he wanted to make a reverse noir, where it's all dark all dark, and the light is like trying to break through, but it's always dark. But this one, the light is just pounding on you, like beating on you.
No, definitely.
And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's great. Like,
no, I mean, again, I really like Nolan's version of this, but I think this version really just like. It brings in it really like it hones in on those themes of just saying like the dark not being able to hide from the light, and just like it doesn't have that kind of like where in the Al Pacino one you're just like, oh well shit, I don't think he meant to shoot that guy.
Right.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And this one you're just like, oh, he's just a piece of shit. Right. Like you never get the sense he's a nice guy.
No.
So
at first, he didn't want to shoot him, his partner.
Well, of course, but that's what I'm saying. As soon as he shoots him, he does nothing to try to. He just covers it up in like the most sketchiest.
He knows he has to cover his ass. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If I accidentally shot you, Mondo, I would not try to cover it up. Right. I would like admit to it.
Honestly, just shoot me now.
But I'd be like, shit, I didn't mean to do it.
Trump is gonna win 2020. I'm not. I don't want to be here for that.
I was like, I didn't mean to do it. I thought it was somebody else. I was trying to save Mondo, and I would go to jail for you.
He really
and that's what I'm saying.
can't
He's
see,
sketchy.
Like, you really can't see in that
and
fog.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. If I really couldn't see, and if I shot you,
I could see you right now.
You know what I'm saying? I would still not try to cover it up. I wouldn't try to be like, well, fuck. Let me make it seem like someone else did it.
Yeah.
Because I know, even though it was an accident, I would hope that people would understand that you know what I'm saying?
It seems like this is a situation where you could just be like, oh shit, like,
yes.
I could, like, it was
right,
this.
the elements were against him. It wasn't just...
No. Especially if you're a fucking cop, you could shoot somebody and get away with it like nothing.
But I'm saying, like,
especially
the fog,
in Norway.
The fog played a big role in him not being able... The elephants were against him.
And that's exactly... So, in the way that... So, at one point, he says that... You know, he's talking to kind of the detectives that are on that case about that, which is the one
the guy who gets shot.
No, the female character that we've been talking about, who like she's investigating him, and so you know
she's on the case of that. Yeah.
So they take him back to the crime scene, and you remember the guy's taking pictures behind him and being like, "Tell us how far you were before you saw him face down."
After they interview him,
and so she brings him back later. And she's like, oh, we did, like, pictures and tests. It was too foggy for you to be able to tell that it was him face down.
Yeah.
Like, you had to have been a lot closer. Yeah. And see, that's what I'm saying. If he would have just said at the beginning that he thought it was that person and shot at it, they would have been like, okay, it was too foggy for him to see who that was.
Right.
It would have been more beneficial. And so that's why, like...
The other reason, too, is why he shouldn't have a gun as well.
Sure, but still, like,
but I feel like in that situation,
wouldn't even be that's what I'm saying. Like, that's one of those like situations where you think about those little things, and in the grander scheme, that those little things don't matter. You're just thinking about these. Oh shit! I shouldn't have had a gun. I might get trouble for that. But you shot somebody. Yeah. So think about, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, think about the grander scheme of things. Like, are you really worried about you bringing a gun into Norway, or are you worried about you getting fucking shooting somebody?
Would have been fired.
Yeah. Yes, he would have been fired or been like. You know what I mean?
But that's his whole life, too.
Because he's such a well-known detective and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pride.
It
plays a big role into
also
what's going on.
But even the people wouldn't have thought that he did it on purpose. You know, they would have been like, "Oh no, you know." Yeah. Like, even.
But perhaps the character thought differently. Maybe he thought like, "Oh shit, they're already like looking at me for this."
And that's that.
He already has this history, this rap kind of.
Yeah, for sure, and that makes complete sense. But I'm saying, like, you know, as you go through the film and he sees the situations where he shot that person, and they're just kind of like, oh, well, they're sort of like telling him, well, you could have just said that you shot him on accident and we would have let you go. Yeah. Basically, with all the, like, evidence and stuff that they're giving him, you know, for the lies he told, you know what I mean? It's just, like, backfiring on him.
Yeah.
Like, you know? Yeah, again, like, if I accidentally just killed one of you right now, like, I would call the cop. I wouldn't just be like, fuck, I had to figure out a way to, like, make my... You know what I mean? Because it'd be like, I wouldn't think that... You know, I wouldn't think that anybody would think that I would kill you on purpose. So I know that, like, I could, like, you know, say, no, it was an accident, it was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Shallow Grave. Like, they should have just called the cops immediately.
Exactly.
No one knew they had the money, but, I mean, yes, those guys that were looking for that guy.
And he did heroin, and he killed himself.
Right. It's an overdose.
They could find that out.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you kind of have to, like, not think of, like, oh, shit, I'm going to get in trouble. You have to think of, like, well, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't just report this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. But, you know, I don't know. That's just...
But, yeah, that was another thing about Skarsgård's character, is you find out, like, he's, like... He can't make this connection with people. Like, he's bad at that. And when he does, it's, like, it just turns out
it's in a piece of
terrible.
Shit way.
You know, like, he's just a piece of shit. Like,
case in
the girl in the lobby.
Yeah,
like,
very awkward.
You know,
the girl with the hotel.
Yeah, he could have just kissed her, made out with her, and, like, they could have had a relation, like, sort of like a fling, you know?
Yeah,
and this is another thing about this film, is that it has this weird, like, sexual, like, vibe, but it's very just, like, uncomfortable sexual vibe.
Yeah. I mean, the whole drive when he's driving.
Well, that's why. That's, like, you know, like, sex is kind of uncomfortable when you don't have that connection with somebody.
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah, it's like in that
that's
human
why
connection.
It's uncomfortable. That's why it's not a thing, you know? But he has this connection with John Holt, the murderer. like like
yes,
like
that they're both
like
sort of kind
he's
of
like okay with framing the teenage boy, the girl's boyfriend.
Yeah,
like he's completely fine with that. But once they like question him about John Holt, they're like, "Oh yeah, he was a killer." Blah blah. It was like, no, it was like some circumstances. Like he's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but fuck the teenage boy. Yeah, like throw him in jail. Like I'll fucking plant a gun under his bed.
Right.
It's like crazy. Like once he builds that connection with someone, he's willing to like back them, sort of, or like kind of give them like a way out.
Yes, and then because the killer. So it was kind of an accident. Yeah, John Holt. He just sort of was like banging her head against the wall, and then he happened to just bang her head into like a loose nail that was in the wall. So that killed her. He wasn't trying to kill her. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Stellan Skarsgård's detective character is just kind of like, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. I was down to bang some chick's head into a wall, and that might happen, because he feels like he could be a serial killer and a sketchy ass dude. Yeah. If if he really went for it, and he kind of does.
Well,
in this
luckily
movie.
Behind that lobby girl, there was toilet paper.
Yeah, not a nail. Yeah,
yeah, for sure, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, so I would definitely say like check this out because check out both of these, like both of the versions, like the Nolan version.
Yeah, I was trying to watch the.
I've seen it. I saw it a while ago again, and I would say check it out.
I didn't get a chance to actually haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it now. Like
it's a lot different. Yeah. It's a lot toned down, but I think like you can appreciate it after you see this because you're just like, oh, like I can see like Nolan. He changed it a lot. Yeah, and like a kind of like weird. It's like, oh, this is like the American audience one. You know, it's not bad. It's not really dumbed down, but it's sort of like, oh, I understand because. If you were to do this one for the American audiences, nobody. No. Yeah. Everyone would be pissed. Yeah. Like, this is not a movie, right? Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was just like at AMC, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people would just like, oh, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, like, I had to like sit down through it and not like focus on it in order for me to actually grasp what was going on. Mm-hmm. Whereas like. Maybe the Christopher Nolan, not to say that it's lacking that, but it hooks you to where you're like, okay, cool, like I understand what's going on in it.
But you don't have to be so attentive.
Right.
Honestly. Whereas you really don't, because
this film doesn't really feed you everything. You kind of have to make it up for yourself. Yeah. Whereas the Christopher Nolan one kind of feeds you that. Like, what we've been saying with his background, like Al Pacino's character, which is Skarsgård's character, really. It feeds you that. You kind of get more of a storyline as to why he is maybe the way he is and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Where this, you kind of had to just, came in, he's kind of just like this arrogant cop and it unfolds from there.
Yeah, you get
like, in the Nolan one, Pacino's already tired.
Yeah, he's already at the end of his career. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I did like a Letterboxd review. Follow me on Letterboxd at, what is my shit? It's Jordan Foster Army. Mm-hmm. But I did like a review on Letterboxd about it where I was just like, yeah, that was like what it felt like, what you were saying. Like, it's just like that's like it was like
he's already fighting these demons, and you can like in Al Pacino's character, like, he's already doing that, and like it just already sets it, like it doesn't set it up. It doesn't go through that. Where Skarsgård, you're like you don't know what he is yet. And you find out throughout the film.
So whereas like that's what I was trying to say. In like the American version, you're just like kind of giving it.
Yeah.
Like what it's going. You like kind of how to feel about the character of Al Pacino, which is fine. I'm not like trying to like drag it down.
Yeah, you kind of get this feeling where he might have been a great cop in his time, but he's at the end of his career. Where with Skarsgård, you don't know where he is, but he's already well regarded in the film.
Yeah, you say it's creepy.
And then once you see him, again, he's creepy as fuck.
I think seriously from the get-go.
I agree with you.
I don't think so. I
agree with Nacho.
That was one of the things.
I mean, yes, it develops and you find out more things throughout the film, but there's just something off about him.
I don't.
I agree.
I agree. Feel that at the beginning because I was thinking that the whole time. Because I was like, dude, this like Skarsgård is so like young and spry, and like he's not like this creepy dude already.
But like, it feels.
But then at the end, like you're like, oh shit, he turned into the
he's
Skarsgård no one loved.
But that's the thing is that like I was literally like every little thing felt like I was like, oh, he's gonna kill that partner. But it wasn't even that. It wasn't even a thing that
because he hit on the.
But that's what I'm saying. It didn't even feel like a thing that meant that. It's just like the looks he would give him because he felt creepy. Yeah, like you were saying.
I will say he nailed down those looks. looks. Like he's really good at doing those looks.
In this movie, he looks like he did not get any sleep at all, and that's what really like. I was like, damn, like. He fucking like convinced me in this shit. He made me tired.
You feel it, yes.
Like he gave me bags under my eyes from watching it.
Yeah, from reviews I've read, they said that this was a film that kind of put him on that
put him on the
game.
map.
That gave him that game because he had done stuff before, but this film was like, oh, we need to do more with this actor. You know,
dude, that makes sense because he's fucking super solid here. Stellan Skarsgård. You all know who he is. If you're listening to this, you have to know.
You know him,
you
love him.
You know him, you love him.
And if you don't know who he is, you should watch
know.
Melancholia and listen to the episode that we did on that as well, because he's in that as well.
Hell yeah! But I think this was a great kind of choice for I Saw the Devil.
Yeah.
But should we grade it?
Let's go through our final thoughts for sure.
All right, let's do the final thoughts. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking start off with
go for it.
Let's do Nacho.
My final thoughts.
Yeah, your final thoughts and your grade.
No, I love this movie.
1 second.
Yes, sir.
Diego, give us that grading.
So the grading that we do here on the pod.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the grading we do on the pod is from, I'm going to say from 0 because we've done 0.5s at some point.
For sure.
From 0 to 5. 0 being the least, 5 being the best. So take it away, Nacho.
One jazz player being the fucking best.
Oh, my God.
No. You're confusing everybody. Stop it.
Well, all right, Nacho.
This isn't Hagazusa, so that's good. But no,
I still haven't heard any feedback from that, so you guys need to watch it.
Someone watch Hagazusa.
Tell me what you think.
No, don't.
No, watch it.
Or listen to the episode at least.
All right, Diego's getting better. Don't listen to the early episodes of Diego. He's getting better.
No, but yeah, my final thoughts. I love this film. I had the remake in my queue for a while. Like I wanted to see that. I never got around to it, but I don't even know how. I mean, you guys are saying it's good, from hearing what you guys are saying, but I don't know how I'd beat it, just because you guys are talking about, like, it's slightly different, the elements, the lights and all that.
It's Pacino and Millions.
I mean, that's probably one reason I want to watch it, just because of Robin Williams and Pacino, but...
it's worth it for Robin
Williams. Definitely, it's definitely...
But yeah, really good. I definitely want to see Nolan's take on it.
That was his movie after Memento, right?
Yes,
I don't know.
I think so. I was reading something that he had just finished Memento and he wanted to do something a little bit different from that. So I think so because Memento was in 2000.
Because I saw Memento back in the day and I was excited for Insomnia because I was the guy from
that makes sense.
Yeah, but sorry Nacho.
No, but back to my thoughts.
Go see Memento.
No, but Skarsgård, man, his acting was great. Just seeing him visibly tired and you take it's like you're on this ride with him, and it's almost like the whole lighting issue, and you feel exhausted by the end of the film. It's like you're feeling like what he's feeling, and
hell yeah,
almost to the point where like I don't know if you guys have experienced a migraine. I didn't experience one until like very late in my life, but
I've
like I'm
no, but we're a man of certain age.
But my whole point is like like the whole like how light affects you and like you seeing that,
sure.
And I can just see Skarsgård, trying to avoid this at 2 a.m. in the morning and all that,
without any sleep, and you're just trying to
and just
solve a murder case,
and just not comfortable,
But no, this dope psychological thriller. I loved it. I recommend everyone watch it. I give this movie, I'd probably shoot 4 dogs. No, I'm just kidding. I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 4.
Oh hell yeah! Shoot 4 dogs,
or shoot the dog 4 times. So.
Yes, and let me just
pull out that bullet.
That this is the second time that Diego has brought a movie where animals get shot.
Yeah, take it from the take it from the
vegan.
Take it from the
I don't know.
Animal activists.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He was,
Mondo,
he was talking about Beyond Sausage earlier.
Mondo, what are your final thoughts in the grading?
Wait, real quick. I love dogs. I wouldn't shoot any. Okay.
Yeah,
none of us would.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
We all love dogs here. Come on. None of us would shoot them. Nacho probably would. None of us would. Just kidding. We all love dogs. Mondo, what are your final thoughts?
Wow, this is tough. Like, I mean, just even talking about this film right now, I think I'm scoring a little higher than I thought I was because I was. But I bought this film like kind of on a blind buy. Like I'd seen the original, but it wasn't until later that I bought the Blu-ray or whatever.
Okay.
And I liked it, but
they got good special features.
What have the special features?
So they have a conversation with the director and Skarsgård from 2014, so it's a little more recent when the Blu-ray came out, not when the
That's
original.
Cool though. That's I like
Spine number 47, just to let you know, because they released this back in the day.
Okay.
So and then they have 2 of the filmmakers' short films.
Okay.
I didn't get to watch them, but that, and then I think they might have a commentary or something like that too on it. But
hell yeah, I would like to see his short films for sure.
But but I watched the conversation between Skarsgård. It's pretty much just Skarsgård interviewing the director and kind of them talking about the film.
Is it in their native tongue?
No, they speak English.
Okay. how is that conversation though? Like,
no, it's cool. It's like a 20-minute conversation. They're just kind of talking about it. Like Skarsgård even like makes fun of the script. Like he's like, it wasn't that good of a script, you know. But Skarsgård bring it, you know. Like fuck yeah, like it. I mean, yeah, it might have been sparse, but like you don't need that.
Yes, the style and him.
We didn't even talk about the filmmaking in this movie. Like they talk about like something. Skarsgård is just talking about like how they kind of just use the camera and like they're not like it's not just still. It's kind of like panning or like just kind of going around, so it doesn't make you feel comfortable in a shot. You know, you always kind of feel uneasy.
Yeah, well,
like something's looking behind you. You know, like always kind of looking around.
There's a lot of takes where you see him in one thing and then you see a different angle, but it's still him in that same position. Yeah. Like he starts.
I think that was just kind of the editing too, because they kind of had like
fucking all that, the editing,
but
the shots. So, like I mean, they really it was like really that feeling of like you're tired.
Like, you know, there were the like. The scenery, like the locations, like it was just dope. You know, like seeing it as like sunlight, like
all the bright lights, all the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, it was great. Like Skarsgård, like fuck yeah, like this. I like this film a lot. It's like I like feel like people should watch it for sure. I was gonna give it a 3.5, but I mean, fuck, I just after talking about it right now, a solid fucking 4. Like this is like
all right.
Give me like 4 knees, hands on the thigh.
Well, all right. Weird ass creepy dude.
Yeah, all right.
If you haven't seen this movie yet, once you watch it and you realize Mondo's reference,
I'm sorry.
You will cancel.
Don't come for us.
But, so before Diego gives his final thoughts, I'm gonna give mine.
Okay.
So I really like this movie. I like this movie a lot.
You think it's a movie?
Well, no, but I really liked that. I really liked that. It was like again, it just really made me appreciate the fucking American version of it. Like it just really made like I was just like, oh shit, like he changed it, but like it doesn't like it's not really different. It is different for American audiences, but it doesn't. It just sticks with like the same themes in a way, right? You know, like are you gonna root for this guy who it's supposed to be the good guy, but he's not really a good guy.
No, he's not.
He's like pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, who is the good guy, and what should you like? You know.
Yeah.
And I love that. And here, I mean, you guys have already said that all the things that is great about it.
Yeah.
I give this. You know what? Shit, I letterboxed it at 3.5, but I might have to move it up to a 4.
Yeah, I was not a solid 3.5 sure, but like after this conversation, I was like, no, it's
no,
like
you're right, because 4. I really do appreciate the acting from Stellan Skarsgard, from the way he was able, like literally, like, you know, there's certain films like again, Al Pacino, he was tired, sure, but fucking fucking Stellan Skarsgard was fucking exhausted.
Yeah. He
like,
gets
he was
exhausted,
fucking exhausted. You know what I mean? Like it like goes through that.
Yeah.
And so like it just I really felt like it really stuck that insomnia kind of point that this guy can't sleep. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just so tired that everything's just fucking flipped around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like this one I think pushed that point more than the American version, even though I would say watch both of them.
Yeah. I would say that too.
Yes.
For sure.
Check out both of them if you can, even though, you know, this one is a little more, you know, intense.
It uses more film language, you know, where you have to watch it and you understand it, you know.
But I think, but I'm saying like the thing is that like, you know, the thing for this one is that it's got those like little bits that are just like you're just like fuck, like why am I watching this dude like do these bad things? A lot of American audience don't like they can't really like go with that. You know what I mean? They can't just see an antagonist who is the protagonist, basically.
But another thing is with this film, like every scene is purposeful. You know, there's no like you have to watch every scene. Like
for sure,
there's a meaning. Like there's a reason why like
you
he's
have
doing
to
this
sit and
that.
watch that.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know? and it makes sense for what happens. Why you would see why he's a shit till the end.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's why. Exactly. It was a 3.5, but now it's a 4. A 4 solid. Nice. Diego.
All right, so I thought this film, because again, I had only seen the remake. I think this film really took me on a psychological roller coaster.
Detour?
A roller coaster. It was all over the place. I think like talking about it more so kind of made me enjoy it even more, because you guys pointed out stuff that I'm like looking back at now retrospectively. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even think of that. You know, the cinematography, as far as like where you pan to one thing and then you pan back around, and I like that. It makes you feel tired because you don't know what's going on.
And it was also very claustrophobic. It just, everything was very like,
narrow.
Yes, there wasn't like these big like wide shots. Everything was like in, and it was like close. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then especially in the fog scene, you're just like, oh, like I don't know like where to turn.
Yeah, which way to look. Yeah, which way to look.
Because you're just like, I don't know who's who and what's what.
Yeah, you couldn't tell it was a partner. You thought it was the fucking guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. And although I am a fan of Skarsgård, I think the stuff he's done is very good. This film for sure made me see him in a different light. I think like
the bright light.
Yeah. The midnight sunlight.
The Interpol turn on the bright lights.
So that being said, I was at a 3.5 as well. Although I liked it, I don't know if I liked it as much as a remake. But after this conversation, I'm gonna have to bump it up to a 4.
You know what?
Oh yeah.
That means anyone listening to this should go see
Insomnia.
Because I
it's on the channel, right?
Yes,
okay.
It's on Criterion Channel.
Yes.
If you guys want to see it, and you should also, if you can,
it's also on Amazon. If you don't have it, you should still get the Criterion Channel app. But if you don't have that, you can watch it on Amazon Prime as well.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. And also, I mean, if you can get your hands on the remake, also check that out. I think it's on Netflix.
No, it was for a long time.
That's on Amazon Prime as well.
But is it?
Yeah,
it
is.
Hell yeah.
You have to rent it though. I think unless you have.
That
doesn't mean it's on.
No, but I think unless you have a certain package.
Diego, you're fooling the listeners, and they don't like that.
If you have a certain package on Amazon Prime, you're able to watch it
for sure. But either way, if you can get your hands on it, check both of them out, because I think you'll appreciate both of them, because it's not one of those things where it's just like, oh, don't check out the remake, just watch the original. I think they both kind of hold their own place.
I don't think. Yeah,
and I'm not like a Nolan fucking idiot where I'm just like sucking his dick all the time. And Nolan's great, don't get me wrong. But I'm not like just saying this to be like, oh, check out Nolan.
But I don't think he did it in a sense where, like, you know, some people want to take that film and kind of make it their own and do different stuff to it, and they want to kind of, I don't know how to put it.
No, I really think in the same way how we were talking about Mikkel Hanke, how he did his funny games.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So how he did his original funny games. And then he did the English language one.
Yeah,
I feel like
US version.
Yeah. This is kind of like
similar. Yeah,
in the same sort of way.
He might have fixed the certain things for the US audience, but I think he did what he needed to do for the film.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He understood how to appeal to the American audiences with that same story. Whereas, like, you know, this one that we're talking about, the Norwegian one, is, you know, it's a little hard
and
to kind of...
it's that guy's, like, first, like, film.
It's like his first, like, big thing. Yeah.
Because his film school stuff was from 94, and this is 97.
Yeah, right.
So it is film schooly a little bit, but I mean, it's done pretty fucking well.
It's done very well. Yeah, for sure. Yes, so definitely go check both those out. But I don't know if I would, I've got a lot of really Christian family members. I don't know if I would tell them to go see a movie called I Saw the Devil.
Yeah, touching on that, keeping that whole cat and mouse.
I saw a rapist.
We're keeping that theme.
I saw no devils.
Keeping that theme. That whole cat and mouse theme of a protagonist.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, man. Protagonist chasing the antagonist. This film's a Korean film made in 2010, or came out in 2010.
But I mean, you live long enough to become the hero, or you become the
villain. Or do you transform into a villain? Yeah. So this film, I Saw the Devil, directed by Kim Jee-woon, starring Kim Jee-woon, starring. He's also.
I just want to say that you've been doing great with the names. I would have.
I'm trying, man.
Diego the Demon Diaz is our name guy. Seriously,
I'm trying.
If I ever say anything wrong, he corrects me. That's what
I'm doing my best here. He also directed A Tale of Two Sisters, which is another big known film. He has quite a few films.
The Good, the Bad, and the Weird.
There
and
you
then
go. King and
The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Johnny Knoxville.
And
it's the only American film, or there was a Prisoner one, or something. Pioneer or something like that. But
and then you have starring Lee Byung-hun, who has starred in some American films as well.
Well, if you've seen the remake of the Magnificent Seven,
yeah,
right,
he was in that. He was in that. He was also in Red too. And one of the G.I. Joe films.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Which I saw that.
And he's fucking dope. He's really good in that.
And then you have the infamous Choi Min-sik, and if you guys have seen Old Boy, he's Old Boy, and shout out to Old Boy, and he's also in Lucy. If you've seen Lucy,
I was trying to remember
the
who he
Luc
was.
Besson film.
Yeah, he's the
with Scarlett Jo. He's the antagonist of that. So coming off of that, you have two powerhouse of actors, in action films. Doing a crime thriller, which was, I think, it was inspired by action, because you could see throughout the movie that it has a lot of action in it. But the director wanted to do something a little bit more emotional, which you do see a lot of that emotion. And what is crime.
What is the story about?
So the premise is, Lee Byung-hun plays the special agent.
Yeah, he's a special agent.
He's a secret agent.
Yeah, he's a special agent who
likes to sing.
Yes, he sings to his wife.
Sings beautifully.
Yeah.
And his wife gets murdered by a serial killer. And the whole movie is him pretty much trying to find the killer. Wife. Yes, pregnant wife. Him trying to find the serial killer. And he goes down the list. When he finally finds the serial killer, he kind of just starts playing this cat and mouse game with catching and releasing, and he plays these games. But then when the serial killer catches on to his games, the tables turn and he starts kind of going back after him. That's the simplest way to put it, but this movie is a roller coaster of shit after shit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about spoilers, but what I'm gonna say about what I loved about this film is that it's like a fucking horror movie. Right?
Yes,
at the beginning.
Definitely. Yeah.
You're just like, fuck, this is like a horror movie. It's like a gore horror movie.
Gore. Very much gore.
And then you're just like, oh shit, it's like, in sort of a way, it's kind of like a superhero movie. Because his character, you know what I mean? You don't see movies. This is kind of like if Batman was like a real thing.
Right.
You know
like a vigilante?
Yeah. Because if Batman had to do...
Remember this film we watched called Super?
No, that's not like this at all. No,
you
because
don't cut in line.
Because I'm saying you know what I mean?
Thank you,
he's this guy who's trained to do these things. He's not in most movies it's like a regular cop, and he's
a regular guy in Super.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like a regular person. Here he's like a trained secret agent.
And he has gizmos. He has that tracking
he's like
device.
A guy who does shit. So he's able to just when you're just watching these crazy scenes of this serial killer almost about to rape and torture this
schoolgirl,
that he's able to kind of show up and just kick the shit out of this dude. It feels kind of if someone made a serious Iron Man, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. If there was Definitely. Just where if Iron Man went around or Batman went around and really stopped real crimes, not some stupid
there's that one
bank
part where
robberies
he's
and shit.
Where the serial killer guy is with his friend at his friend's kind of place.
Oh, the cannibal.
Yeah, the cannibal. Where he's and then he has the hood and all that stuff and he's jumping around. That right when I saw that scene, I was like, oh shit, this is a vigilante movie.
Yeah, he's
and that was dope. Yeah, for sure.
And it feels a little different because you don't really see kind of horror movies where there's this serious it's a serious threat because you could watch horror movies where there's a ghost or something that shakes you up or
a slasher film
and it's just
that's
not that I don't care about that, but a serious serial killer
who's
fucking
just like raping and
murdering
killing
women left and right.
women and children and shit.
Yeah,
that's like really scary. So like the fact that there's this dude who's willing to like there's like scenes in like movies where like they confront the guy who's got the knife who's killing people.
Yeah,
and they don't just like jump on like what's around them and like spin kick them.
and kick the shit out
and this
of them,
movie like felt so good to see some shit like that.
So
I just really loved it, like for him to like
go right at it,
and just like bang him on the head and be like, oh, I'll be back for you,
and break his like arm and like
it felt
cut
like
his leg.
It just really felt like an Iron Man or like one of these movies where just like, oh damn, this is like a real superhero like who's really handling.
To me, it was
like
it was like a superhero, but also mixed with like gore wise. Obviously, it reminded me of like Hostel. I immediately when he stuck the scalpel and cut like the Achilles. Yes, I was just like, oh god, there was. Some of the gore was pretty tough to watch. I mean, it was good though. Like,
so to touch on that too, the director wanted to kind of make that play a big role because, like I said, he wanted elements of gore, elements of action, and elements of emotion in a film because I believe he was saying that after his last film, he wanted to do something totally different from that and something a little more gritty.
His film was The Good, the Bad, the Weird, which is just like this really wacky kind of action train heist movie. So that's what, like, when I saw this this is the first time me watching I Saw the Devil for this podcast, which I feel like an idiot for saying that because this is such like, especially because I love The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Like
I'm surprised you hadn't seen this.
Exactly. Like this is like this
has been on my watch list for a long time.
Same here. It was on my Netflix
and
queue.
To see like what he's able to do in this like really like kind of big action, like kind of wacky sort of like movie, and then go to this very serious kind of like, it's very like there's a lot of Hitchcock in it. There's just like a lot of like that like really like Korean horror in it. Yeah, like there's just like a bunch of these like things in it, and there's like drama. There's like what I mean, like, and you're just like, oh shit, like. He can just like do whatever. Yeah, and you
feel the emotion from the characters. From him losing his wife, the wife's family, which the dad is actually a retired
chief police officer.
Police. Yeah, and
chief of police.
That's kind of how the character gets all his information and goes down the list to find the serial killer. And then the sister too. They just play such a big role, even though they're not in it very much. They play a big role in the emotion that you feel throughout the film, where he's trying to get this revenge, but it takes a toll on him too because he's doing all these things that he normally wouldn't do, and it kind of you see him kind of start getting worn down too because obviously, although he's kicking the shit out of the serial killer, he's also fighting back, and once the serial killer catches on to this game. He starts taunting him just as much too. He just starts playing games with him back and forth, and you see that reaction where he shows it very well where he gets caught and he's like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now? Now that he's on to me, what am I gonna do now?
And that's why he's a vigilante, because he's a little irresponsible.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Because that nurse didn't have
to
suck that guy's dick. He could have came a little.
He could have come in sooner. Yeah,
she didn't have to do that. I mean, that sucks.
I mean, a lot of those.
No pun intended.
Oh man, a lot of those scenes, man. I was just like, "Fuck,
you could have come a little bit
get here right now, right? You're gonna get here right now."
You didn't have to
let him loose. You should know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's another thing. So, like another plot point, just to kind of say it, was that the main antagonist is fucking with the protagonist in like a way that he beats the fuck out of him. And then he like puts a tracker in his body and lets him loose. Yeah. But this guy's like a serial killer.
Yeah, this guy's fucked up. He's gonna.
He goes around and he kills people.
Nuts.
And he hangs out with cannibals.
Yes. Yeah. So like literally, him letting him go is like a bad thing because he's letting him kill people and stuff. Yeah. He still like shows up, when bad things are going down, but he kind of shows up too late.
For the most part.
Really,
she didn't have to suck his dick. I mean, he could have been there. He was right there. He could have been right there.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
Well, no, I was gonna say like even prior to figuring out who the serial killer was, when he has this list of suspects, right?
Yeah.
And like how he's hunting them down.
Of course, he's the last one.
Yeah, was he the last one?
No, he was the third.
Third. I think there was 4, and he was the third.
Well,
But the one prior to like, dude, like he just jumps in this guy's room who's jerking off to porn. Like he disconnects his porn and then
breaks his balls
with the wrench. He just right to the nutsack. And the fact they keep.
His
but that guy was like a convicted. No.
I was saying it was just
pieces of
crazy to see. Like,
well, it was pretty good.
I didn't want to see that, and I saw.
Look, if you haven't seen I Saw the Devil, there's a scene where someone like literally breaks someone's dick, and you can see it in their underwear.
Yeah.
And he should have broke this guy's dick, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right, fellas?
Of course.
Hello.
Sure. There, like he like it's one of those things. That's what I'm saying. It's like one of those. That's why I like the movie so much, because it was like okay, like is that like a good thing that he tortured him and then let him go, and then he just killed a bunch of people, but he still fucking tortured him, right? So it's like, what would you do in that situation?
That was the whole thing.
He was torturing all the killer was torturing these people, and he was trying to give him his own game,
But still, he's letting them go.
Exactly.
He's letting him go and letting him still wreak havoc.
That's kind of worse, where you feel free. He had all that money, he gave him a little bit of money, even, right?
Why overall that was the game.
I get that that's what he was trying to do, make him feel free. But still, in all those times that he wasn't.
Morally, it wasn't the right thing.
It wasn't, because he's killing people. He killed a lot of people. All the times that he let him go free, he killed a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And so, he would put on the headphones and listen to what he was doing, and then go after him when he heard something. But he was just killing people. Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's like you are even in the first one that we're talking about,
to become the hero.
It's just do you become the monster to find a monster? Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to find a monster.
That's what it seemed like. Yes, to be.
You
can't.
You have to put yourself in that mindset.
Well, I saw the devil. Is he the devil? Is
that's the thing. Overall, which one is it?
I feel like maybe he's the devil now.
Well, one of the quotes they use is
especially because what he does to him at the end.
Yeah.
When he's walking, he's just listening. To I mean I don't want to spoil the end.
Spoilers. I mean, come on.
Well, if you
don't want to listen,
I guess you're right. Well,
you should watch the film and then come back to this.
So, that's what I'm saying. So he captures a serial killer at the end,
right?
And he has him in his own little
torture
dungeon,
his makeshift guillotine.
And so he's just the serial killer is just I killed everyone you love. He killed his fiance
who was pregnant.
Yeah, he kills his fiance's sister.
Yeah,
he killed his fucking father-in-law. So he's just you can't do anything to me. There's nothing you can do.
He won.
I
won.
Yeah.
So he leaves, but he has him in this kind of a contraption.
It's a guillotine,
it's like a guillotine.
That he uses on his victims.
Yeah.
And so as he's walking away, he's listening to his headphones, because that's the whole thing. He's been able to listen to what the guy's been saying, because he has a tracer on it.
Yeah, a tracking thing.
And I love that too.
That was dope. That was cool.
Yeah. And then so he basically pretty much the cop or the secret agent told the serial killer's family, who he runs across
early on in
the film
while he's chasing this guy,
and they don't understand what he's doing. They don't get that he's a serial killer. They just oh well, the mom loves him. The son is kind of mad that he's not around
because he kind of left him. Yeah.
And so
they even talk shit about the son.
Yeah. The dad does.
They even make it when they first introduce the son, he's gonna have some weird deformity or something.
Right.
How could you even love that or whatever?
Yeah.
But he's normal. He's fine.
But basically what I'm saying is that so he the killer tells that guy you got me tied up in this thing, but you haven't won.
Yeah.
But he does win. Yeah. Because he does this thing where he sets up that killer tied up in this back room, and he invites the family of the killer to come to that place.
Yeah. And
if they break open the door, it chops that dude's head off.
Yeah.
It's this really crazy kind of like it's like a.
I thought it was gonna be like an explosion and kill everyone. You know?
No.
But, yeah.
I knew.
No, but it was
like
a moral. Yeah. It's a moral thing where.
Well, it's like it's really is like a fucking like a Shakespearean thing.
Yeah, it's a very emotional, very poetic.
Yeah, it's like this really crazy thing where it's just like, oh shit, like like. The sins that you've like put upon your family are coming back to fucking boom, chop off your head. Mm-hmm. Like literally, you put your family through this shit. Like you've been a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like and I don't even saying like you don't even have to be like a serial killer. Right. If you're just a piece of shit putting your family through shit, like the guillotine's gonna come chop your fucking head off. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's,
I get that.
Yeah. And that's a great scene, too, like, when it starts panning out and he's just walking and loses his shit. That's a great scene.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great shots. It's like there's a bunch of great cinematography in this film as well.
The scene where, I was going to bring it up, but the scene where I think it's the first time that he catches a serial killer and he lets him go, and there's a taxi that comes, and then these taxis.
In the taxi.
That scene where
when he's just shanking the people,
where they're fighting and they're panning around in a circle is like one of my favorite scenes.
Dude,
that scene took. I think they said they took over a month to do that scene.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
Because that was like,
yeah.
I mean,
him just like stabbing those two dudes
and
in the taxi,
and the camera just spinning around.
Yeah, and it's spinning around while they're in this car.
First time I watched,
and then the blood just spraying.
Yeah, squirting out.
The
first time I watched this film and I watched that scene, it just reminded me of Oldboy when he's fighting everyone in that hallway. Mm-hmm. It just brought me back to that. Like they do such a good job at doing like close combat in narrow, like very small quarters. Yeah, you know what I mean. And this is a scene where they wanted it to be, and they worked on it so hard, and I think they went over and over like for a month, like trying to catch this scene. And but I mean like,
but yeah, that I mean that immediately stood out to me.
Yeah,
because I've never ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Ever. Like now, like just like that's the only movie that I've seen do that kind of thing
inside that car.
And it looks so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And just how the blood is like squirting out everywhere, and like there's two guys he's stabbing between.
There's so much movement and action. Yeah,
and it's fucking dope. Like that was, I mean,
I had to rewatch
that's
that
the shit I live for.
Yeah.
You know,
I
mean, I hate like real violence and shit, but in movies, it's just fucking beautiful.
Violence like that, where it's like almost
it's choreographed.
Yeah.
It's a dance. It's like it was fucking dope. You know,
for sure.
Like, he was just shanking them, and that was like so dope. You know.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That's like one of the great scenes.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, I liked this movie. I did. The story was dope.
Oh, okay.
Like I mean, like 50 minutes in, you're like, oh, he got the guy. Like, is this over? Like, this movie's 2.5 hours long.
I kind of felt like that too. Like, I was like, oh, like how's this gonna go on for 2 hours and 20 minutes?
But that he's like kind of like playing this cat and mouse game, revenge game. Like he's like letting him like he's like torturing him a little
giving
bit,
him only a certain
and then
amount
giving
of,
a little like breathing room.
Yeah,
and, like
so much.
But
freedom,
he's coming back, you know. So I was like, oh, that's dope. Like that's like that just like reminds me of like a manga or like something like an anime.
No,
you know, like you know where they have to prolong the story and it's gonna go on for so long.
Yeah.
But the beginning, when they first find the guy's wife in the river, the head. It's super melodramatic. Like
even the score.
The score is fucking garbage.
But I was gonna touch.
Like it's
TV
garbage.
The fumble was ridiculous. Like,
with the head.
Like that. Do crime scenes really like?
Would you just get out the head like that?
No, I think
like,
fumble.
So to touch on that, I was actually gonna point out that the comedic relief for this film is the cops, like that squad of cops. They're always talking shit about. They're not doing anything. They're always talking shit about like the people they're catching and stuff like that. And I think like it was meant to show the cops in that light, where like, because technically he's a secret agent or a special agent.
Yeah, he's not above them.
Yeah, he's not
he's not one of those cops.
Yeah,
he's not one of those bumbling, fooling cops.
Yeah, he's not a flunky. He's
a real legit fool.
Yeah.
Like but that was the whole thing. Like
he's sexy as fuck.
So they have that scene where they're searching the river. The kid finds the ear or whatever, and then like all of a sudden it's night, and then they find the head of like a little bit after. You know, and it's like the music is just so fucking shitty. It's so stock and everything, and it makes it feel like a TV film.
I get you.
And then right, like pretty soon. Oh, so the next scene is like the guy is talking to his dad, which is the daughter
father-in-law,
of the,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
who's the ex-chief of police or something like that. And then the next scene is the funeral. Right. And it's crying again, you know, all that, like, which they just had in the lake scene. And it's that fucking shitty music, like another shitty score.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just had this, like, kind of like emotional, like, kind of thing. Like, they couldn't, like, do it different. And then.
Well, they're trying to get you fucked up. Cause that's the
but
thing.
It doesn't get me fucked up. Because it's shitty.
You want to get behind the dude. You want to like be like,
I was already behind the dude. They like the whole scene between her and the serial killer is like
so you
getting behind the dude.
You're saying there's
because,
too much emotion.
Well, the whole thing is like she's like, don't kill me, blah blah blah. You know, she's like begging for her life.
Right.
And then she says she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
You know,
yeah.
And then she's gonna say she's pregnant because she says I'm. And then she's gonna. What else she's gonna fucking say? You know, like. She's gonna say she's pregnant, and you just like learn this whole scene, like, oh, she likes visiting the orphan kids. That's why she's stuck on that mountain, and whatever.
Right,
and she thinks they're cute or whatever. Like, you know, that's whatever. Like a woman. Never mind. I won't. A
nurturing thing. Yeah.
I guess yes, and also kind of like she just wants a fucking pet. You know, but like, you know, you already get that from all that. You know, you don't need like those scenes like back to back where they're just crying and that crappy ass music makes it feel like a TV film.
Okay.
You know, where like, and then there's another part where it feels like super TV because just before that, the films felt so like good, like in the directing and all that, like when the bad guy, the rapist, the serial killer, like he like goes in the like middle of the day and like gives himself up.
Oh, right, in the middle of the you know, in the middle
and
of the
like
quad.
it's so crappy, like yeah, we've seen that kind of like chase and like thing. I don't agree with you. And the music was so fucking bad. It was so fucking bad.
I don't agree with you.
It was garbage. It was shitty.
I don't think so.
Like I was like, oh shit, this movie's good.
I will agree that in the beginning, yes.
I don't think so.
No, I think watch it again. Watch it again.
The
please.
Beginning, the
we're
part where they're in the
pause
river.
This podcast. I'm gonna make these fools watch it again right now.
I think in the beginning, Mondo's right. Where they're in the river and they find the head, it does pan out a little bit too soap operas, too many like TV film type. Yeah. But like after that, I feel like after it carries that and that shitty score, it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily plays out. I think actually that part in the quad where he gives himself up.
I get what you're saying about that part, about that whole like scene where it kind of feels a little goofy, but I don't think they like. I think the tone gets set for the rest of that. I don't think like what you're saying.
I think the tone is too like.
No, not at all.
It's like it's
not.
No, it is, dude. It is. Watch it again. I swear I swear on the Criterion Bible right now that it's all over the fucking place. Sometimes the story's good. Like. Oh, okay. So the bad guy's driving. Like, you remember when he gets the pill out of his body, you know, he throws it up and then he beats up that guy in the restroom and he gives it to the other guy, like he makes the other guy swallow it or whatever. You can kind of assume that. Yeah. And then he's driving off in that guy's car and he's like wearing these fucking sunglasses and then he like puts in a piece of gum in his mouth and he just throws the wrapper behind his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, that's so fucking dumb. Like, it's so garbage. It was shit. It was like,
I don't know, dude.
It took me out of the whole fucking film.
I think
the tone is like,
Diego,
it's way too.
No, but I honestly
the tone
think,
is way too all over.
No,
the
but
place.
I think
maybe
that
it's just like
no.
Yes,
I think,
it is.
No.
It is.
No, I think that the character, antagonist character that's his persona. That's who he is.
Give a fuck.
That's just who he is.
Throwing a gum wrapper behind your shoulder.
That's just who she.
Don't even. Oh my god.
I just think that's.
If I ever did that, you fucking laugh the fuck out. Look,
well,
laughing the fuck out of the car.
You're not a serial killer, so I don't know. Maybe I just think that's how he is.
You don't know me.
No, that's true. I don't know you. I just think that he portrays this like kind of like alpha male kind of I don't give a fuck like persona,
that's just,
and he just
but
doesn't
we've gotten that.
He doesn't care.
Yes, yes, we've gotten those things before, but that like him doing that is just so fucking cheesy and ruins the character development.
No, it's not.
You think you should have threw that gum wrapper behind his shoulder?
There's nothing wrong with that because
you don't think it.
If you what?
No,
look,
don't even fucking.
No. Look, listen to me. That like I think it's like North Korean, right? This is like what this is. You watch something like Parasite.
You think a North Korean would do?
don't even. Look, you watch something like Parasite, which is North Korean, the same thing. It's like they know how to mix genres.
Actually,
South
I think South
Korean.
So don't fucking get Kim Jong on me on right here. Right?
All right. Well, you don't know what you just said.
But Kim Jong Un,
okay,
I don't know.
So
Fuck
it's,
him, dog.
it's yes. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like they know how to like mix the genres together, and that's what I feel like they did well here.
I don't think he mixed it well. I don't think he mixed it well.
Will you listen to me? They did not. There is a perfect mix of this because it's like I don't think you've ever seen Memories of Murder. Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
Of course you haven't. So you don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm saying
he throws a gum wrapper behind his fucking shoulder like an idiot.
They do stuff like that, which it informs the character. They know how to create an atmosphere.
That didn't inform the character for me.
Well, that's
they already informed the character for me, but
that's what I'm saying.
That scene brought.
What I'm trying to explain to
out
you
of it
is this is what like the cretins, the unsmart people think of these movies.
No,
and that's what you are because
you didn't look at this film closely enough.
No.
None of you. I'm looking at all of you.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I got my back against the door. I'm gonna fucking guillotine all of you.
I don't know, man. I didn't have an issue with that. I just think that that's just the character, It's just
right.
it's just an everyday thing. He just doesn't give a shit. He just killed a person. He didn't care.
Right,
like
that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
chewing gum, not giving a shit does not.
But I mean, if a scene like that is so small like that is like gonna make or break a film, it's not. It's not that.
It was other things too.
But that's what you're standing on, and that's not.
But you're pointing out something like that,
the
like
score,
that literally.
It was the score, like
no, that informs the character. What you just said was like a bad thing. That informs the character for me. That doesn't make the character a bad thing. That informs it.
I mean, they already informed it. That's exactly what I'm saying. They already informed it for me. Like I know this guy's a fucking badass and killer.
It
like,
doesn't matter though. They're trying to continue to keep
right. Yeah, that's who he is. That's going to carry out throughout the film.
That fool does not chew gum. That guy does not chew gum. That killer does not chew gum.
Why wouldn't he?
Why would he? Why would he chew gum?
That's I don't feel
like
like
it doesn't make it like that makes you so like.
Okay, we're not gonna get into this because it's gonna get into things that people that are listening aren't gonna understand. But you have to understand that. What do you mean? Why would he chew gum? That's such a silly thing to say.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes, it is because
they made a point of it. They made a point of it.
No, it informs his character.
Yeah.
It literally informs his character.
I already know he doesn't give a shit. He beat that guy into to a bloody pulp and gave him the pill that he already had.
Guess what, Mondo? When they shot that scene, they weren't like. They were just kind of giving little hints that he's just that person. They were like, "Oh, Mondo's gonna get mad if he throws a piece of gum behind him. We might cut this out."
They might as well play George Thorogood and played Bad to the Bone during that fucking scene.
See, and you're like totally like you're doing this thing that I don't understand what you're doing because if they just plant little seeds throughout that to let you know that he doesn't give a shit, what's wrong with that? Like you're making it seem like they should have just put that at the beginning and like, oh, they can't do it throughout the movie. They should have put Bad to the Bone.
They should have never done that. No, they should have never done that.
But why not? Because
they already did it. They already did it.
They're showing you an interaction of the character. And so they're going to show you the character be the character. And if you don't like that, it's like, oh, well, they should have showed me this in the beginning. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I don't know. I never said that they should show me this in the beginning. They already did it. They already fucking informed the character.
So you just said You just said what I said you didn't say right now. I just think that... Oh, I didn't say they should have said this at the beginning. But they already informed the character.
I've been saying that the whole time.
That's the same thing.
No, I've been saying that the whole time.
So you're saying that they should have informed the character at the beginning.
They do these things where it brings it down a little.
Throughout the movie.
Yes, exactly. Throughout the movie.
Inform the character.
I said,
they already informed it.
That's the way that his persona is supposed to carry out.
I'm saying throughout the movie, they do these things.
So you just want him to do something to inform himself, and throughout the movie, he just should be cliche for you?
No, I'm not saying that.
So what are you trying to say?
That makes it cliche.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
I don't think so. I didn't see it that way.
Like,
did you see it that way, Nacho?
The score and like.
And this was your first time watching this film.
Yes.
That's the character. If they're gonna show the way the character should be, that's the character. Why would they stop
so they're just like, all right, Mondo figured it out at this point in the movie, so we should just stop showing what the character is.
No.
That's what you're saying. They shouldn't show how the character is throughout the movie?
They've been. That's what I'm saying.
So that moment, you just were mad at that one moment, you don't want that.
I don't need that scene. I don't need that scene. But that's
the character, so why
no one
wouldn't
needs
they?
that. No one needed that scene.
No one said that they needed it.
And no one needed those music cues. Like, they already showed the crying. They already showed the funeral.
God, Mondo.
Like, no, I'm fucking being serious right now.
I know you are, and that's why it's really strange, because so you want them to just show you what the character is at the beginning of the movie?
No, they've done it. They did a great job.
You keep saying the fucking same shit. Yes, they did it at the beginning of the movie.
No,
so when the movie goes on, shut up.
No,
so when the movie goes on, they can still show you who the character is.
Right,
yes. I know you got it already. No one gives a fuck about that. No one's going like, Mondo got it already, so we should stop making the character. The character is the character, so the character is gonna be the character. So
they already made a fucking.
So the thing is, why wouldn't he?
So because you got mad at a moment doesn't mean it's not a character moment.
I'm just saying it was a bad decision, a bad scene. It was a bad scene.
I didn't take it like that. I mean,
you wanted to put on sunglasses and put on fucking chew some gum.
I didn't.
See, that's the thing is that it doesn't feel like that, and you're not even making an argument.
Yeah,
for
like
it to
yes,
feel like
I am.
No, you're not.
Does.
No,
dude,
it did not feel like someone put on sunglasses.
Dude, this is already after like he beat. So he's already like, this nurse. He fucking made him suck his dick, and then already he's like thrown up and like beat this other guy for his car and thrown the pill in his fucking mouth so he can get away. So he's not tracking them.
So are you just
like
saying
that's
like, so after that, he should just be chill and not be the bad character that he is.
He is this bad.
Should he have not shown
So why wouldn't they show the bad things that he does throughout that time?
Chewing gum's a bad thing.
No,
it's throwing the wrapper behind his shoulder.
But you're over here trying to act like that's like, why did they show that? That's dumb.
It was stupid. It brought me. It took me out of the whole thing.
Oh my god! It informs the character. It is that character. You just said that character does that. You're like arguing for nothing.
No,
like,
I'm not. I'm not arguing for nothing.
They showed that he was this way before, and they should stop after this point. Like,
there's just sometimes you just like you don't need to show things. Like,
why? Why?
I'm saying that thing is you don't need to show.
They're showing the character be the character throughout the fucking.
You thought
movie.
he was a badass for throwing the gum wrapper over his shoulder?
No, but you're the one. You brought it up. You pointed it out. You're the only one who noticed that. I'm telling you that they did that.
You didn't watch the fucking film then.
I'm telling
you. If you didn't notice that, I'm surprised you didn't fucking notice that.
Don't start that.
No. Don't fucking. Seriously, you like that scene. Like, you like that part. You like that cut.
Shh. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen, you're the one who brought that scene up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you were saying that
because it's a garbage scene.
Okay, shut up. Listen to me. You're the one who brought that scene up, and you said that they brought this scene up for no reason. And we're telling you that the way that character is, he would do something like that. And you're just like, well, no, but they already showed that the character was like that before. Why wouldn't they just continue to show that character's like that? Even if that's not a big... Shut up. Even if that's not a big scene that I noticed or that anybody noticed or that somebody would notice, it doesn't matter. It's still the fucking character. So you didn't like it. So you thought it was too much. But that's the character. Yeah. It's not like... No. Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
Okay, so what's your argument against it?
I'm telling you, that was a bad scene.
Sure.
That was bad. Like, throughout the film, they've shown this character is a piece of shit.
Okay, but that's not an argument.
That.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're arguing. You're arguing that they shouldn't have shown that because it doesn't matter. He's a piece of shit, so it should go throughout the movie that he just doesn't.
That scene is totally off.
I just don't think it takes away or...
It took away
nothing.
For me.
It doesn't take away. It doesn't add.
It didn't. It is the character. He carries himself that way from beginning to end.
Wow. It didn't add anything. They could have cut it out.
No, but that was part of the scene. He was on the phone.
You guys obviously didn't notice that scene.
He was on the phone beforehand. He was establishing something. That scene just carried out. Yes.
People chew gum. Some big ass thing about it.
People chew gum. They carry through. Like, sure, it might have been cheesy in some aspect.
These are different points in the film that I talked about where the score is garbage and it makes it feel like a TV film. And then that's just another part where it just feels
maybe the
like
score is garbage. I agreed with you in the beginning. beginning, but I don't think this scene takes away anything from the film or from the character. I feel like
I don't understand why you're bringing that up.
Because
like,
I'm
crazy.
Yeah, because I watched the film. I fucking noticed it.
Okay.
I know.
Like,
and,
so we
and
didn't.
These scenes.
Like,
scenes,
is that what you're trying to say? That you're accusing us that we didn't watch the fucking
No, I'm
movie?
not. Maybe a little bit, but I'm just saying that these things, like,
for this fucking scene, you're gonna accuse us that we didn't watch the fucking movie.
Well, you guys obviously didn't notice it.
No, it just didn't matter to us.
Because it doesn't fucking mean anything. Are you fucking serious?
It just wasn't.
If they put it in, if they left it in the film, it doesn't. And saying it doesn't mean anything, you're wrong. It means something. It fucking means something. Why would they leave that in the movie?
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
You're seriously
I'm saying this is why this movie is totally off. It's fucking all over the place.
For that one fucking
No,
scene?
I told you from the beginning why it was totally off. Because the score, the scenes where they're crying at the crime scene, and then all of it, like, immediately at the funeral, like, it's fucking garbage. It's not good. Like, it's fucking TV. It's amateur. Like, they're showing, like, the story was great. Yeah, it was fucking good. Like, they had a good story. But some things just weren't there.
But okay, so I was gonna
understand that you're building off this one scene. That
no,
you're trying
I'm
to
not building off one
behind.
scene.
Yes,
I just told you 3 scenes.
Okay, so I was gonna actually touch on this.
Scenes.
I think there's a thing in Korean horror or Korean revenge film where they do stuff like that. They use almost like soap opera like scoring in certain films, especially like films that are pretty well known. I don't know if maybe that's just a culture thing. I don't know if that's just, something that they keep doing because, that part of the world, whatever they're getting,
it works for what we watch.
Right. Like I said, I agree.
Works.
I agree with you in the beginning. It did seem cheesy, but in this scene that you're bringing up, it just doesn't seem valid that you're bringing that up because it wasn't a problem with
that
any
whole
of
action
us.
scene where he like gives himself up and the cops swarm on him is so fucking cheesy.
Yeah, we're
and
not
garbage.
talking about that scene though.
But that's the whole part where it's leading up to that. Where he's driving in that car,
you were going hard for something that like you don't even remember what you were.
I know, I remember exactly what happened. You guys need to rewatch it.
I don't know. It didn't bug me. I mean, I watched it.
You're trying to let this in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That being said, letting it into the Criterion Collection. I want to know what you guys' final thoughts are. All right, so Mondo said no.
No.
Mondo said no. Jordan.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why I really enjoyed this film was because
he chewed bubblegum and threw the wrapper around behind his shoulder.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like to bring up something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? And to say no right away about something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that's fucking crazy, and everyone listening knows that's crazy. Oh, 'cause you're mad that he threw a bubblegum wrap? Okay, anyway. So this movie has that feel of like a kind of like Hitchcock kind of like murder thriller where you're just kind of like, oh shit, it's going to be like a horror like film.
Right.
And it's got like, especially at the beginning,
right.
She's like, she's trapped and the killer's like, he's like, he's the guy who pulls up to like, It's kind of has that like Zodiac kind of feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like it has that. And so as it goes on, though, you have that kind of like, I don't know, it's like an action movie feel because once the super agent, the secret agent guy comes in and he's like, because that's his wife that the serial killer killed at the beginning. He like just starts kicking ass. Like it's not even like a cop movie, where a cop would just stumble around and just like shoot at each other and just be like this.
Like this guy's a badass.
Yeah, he fucks him up. Yeah. Like he like kicks him, he fucks him up.
Yeah,
and so it really brings that like aspect of like a superhero movie, like a real like Batman, kind of like a real sort of like like a Daredevil, like if you really watch if those superhero things were real. and there was like, you know, and Daredevil and Batman cared about people who were like raping and like fucking murdering people instead of some dude with some clown makeup or whatever the fuck. Like, this is what that would be. Like, it would be that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just like trained for it. He hops on roofs. He knows how to do shit. Yeah. And he could like put trackers in people. You know what I mean? So it like felt like that. And I love that fucking balance between it being like this like Zodiac kind of murder thriller and that kind of like superhero kind of action movie. Right. Especially when he like fights him in the greenhouse. When he's just like that, you know, like it's alone, like a really good like fucking like fight scene. Yeah. Like, and you don't see those in like thrillers and like horror movies because in horror movies people are worried about like the devil or a ghost. And that shit's not scary. Yeah. This motherfucker's like in this
real life shit. Yeah.
Yes. And so for him to be able
I never saw the devil.
And for him to like be able to beat the shit out of them, like to see him find this person who's like this like horrible serial killer and like this terrible person and just slam his head on a rock or just like kick the shit out of him. It's like very like exciting. It's like a movie that I've at least for me I've never seen before. It's like a very different mishmash of genres in this really fucking exciting way. So I Saw the Devil should be in the Criterion. It should be in it. I believe completely because you know I just love all the acting in it. The directing in it is so fantastic, especially if you watch what he did before in fucking The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. It's a totally different contrast, and you're just like, oh shit, like cool. I was just like, damn, like he can do anything. He can fucking do anything.
Right.
Because
he can do TV really well.
Oh, get the... I'm doing my final thoughts. Shut the fuck up. It belongs in it. Nacho, what are your final thoughts?
What do you think, man?
He put on glasses, so no, I'm voting this shit out. No, I saw the devil, and the devil hates
you
gum.
You saw it? Where did you see it at?
Gum hates gum being chewed and rappers thrown behind the back. No, I don't know, man. My final thoughts on this, I love this film. It intrigued me. I was interested from the get-go. I texted Diego last night. I was like, dude, or the night before, I fucking love this film.
Breaking the rules already.
Yeah. Wait, what rules? We have a Bible? Where's the Bible? I got
no rules. Fucking gum rapper. Fuck.
No, man.
You guys want a piece of gum?
No, but
that's his
Jordan.
nickname.
Jordan put it down well, where it's like a mix of genres. You know, this whole vigilante justice, fucking revenge thriller. You know, it was dope and it's gory. And then the camera angles that they did, that scene we brought up, like, you know, just all that put together, it was
not
very
a TV
cool.
movie at all.
No, I mean I don't think so. That gum scene didn't bug me. I love this, man. I'm voting this shit in, dude.
Hell yeah! That's 3 against 1. You fuck.
Okay, so I want to just close this off with some stuff I wanted to bring up. So I've already brought up the fact that the director wanted to do something that was, although action inspired, it had elements of horror, elements of drama. The most thing that he wanted to drive this film was the emotion, which I think the actors conveyed very well. Whether it was like, not caring for human life at all, or the fact that you care too much. You know, at what point do you stop what you're doing? How
when
far
do you
would
stop
you go?
chewing the gum?
How
when
far do you go? I don't agree with that. Don't listen to this guy.
He was so good at playing an insane serial killer.
Yeah,
dude.
He did a very good job.
I think he did a great job of chewing gum and throwing it.
Yeah, man.
The rapper behind him.
I don't know if I can throw a rapper
one
behind
guy
myself.
in this podcast doesn't understand.
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted to bring this film up was the fact that I want to see what, although there is Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff, and they have special features, they don't really, the actors don't really talk about why they chose that role, why they did what they did, why they brought what they brought to it. I want to hear that. I want to know why they took that role, especially the antagonist role, like the guy who played Old Boy. I want to hear from him.
You want to play a young boy?
Yeah, and put on the glasses and throw a rapper behind him.
Chew some gum.
So I'm glad you guys let it in. It's one of my favorite films.
I didn't let it in.
It doesn't matter what Mondo has to say.
So. Just think about this, because when people are gonna listen back to this episode, they're gonna just laugh at Mondo.
Yeah.
Because
usually they're laughing at me.
I'm on the right side of history right here.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not.
Trump 2020.
Oh shit.
Fuck.
Oh shit. Cancel Mondo. Oh shit.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Oh my god. Yeah, well, I guess Trump threw the rapper behind his back or whatever. So this fucking idiot.
You already established that.
All right, well, I Saw the Devil is in.
Yeah.
Hell
All right.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Good job,
Hell
Diego.
yeah. Hell yeah. Cool.
It was a good fucking. It was a good cult sacrifice.
Yeah.
I was into it. All right, well, thank you for listening to the Criterion Cult. This one got a little intense.
Yeah.
Because Mondo doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mondo attacked us first. He tried attacking all three of us.
No, but this.
Hey, if you agree with Mondo, follow us on Instagram.
No, listen. This was a good conversation because of that. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're trying to get here.
Yeah?
That's what we're trying to get going on. Please.
We don't have to agree.
Yeah, we that's
Yeah, we
the
need
whole
some
point.
fucking drama, you fucking asshole.
And Mondo brought
We
it
saw
this
the
time.
Mondo. We
Good
saw
Lord.
the Mondo.
Yeah. All right.
So next week we're watching Dazed and Confused, Cooley High. This is my episode. They better fucking let it in.
Dude, I seriously
All right.
saw the devil right now.
Well,
Mondo.
that's true.
Yeah, because we didn't see one in this last film. We saw
Mondo.
Okay,
a
guys,
gum-chewing fool.
Stop fighting. We're doing. It's already in. It's already in, Mondo. You're fucked.
Mondo the
All right,
devil.
thank you guys for
Arvizu.
listening. I am Jordan
Criterion
Garcia.
knows I'm right. Sorry, go ahead.
I am Jordan Garcia. And you can follow me on Instagram at Young Jane Fonda. Please follow us at the Criterion Cult Pod
On
Instagram and at Criterion Cult on Twitter. We got
Diego, you could follow me at MrBeast88 on Instagram. And also, if you watch these films, tell me what you think.
Yeah, it's no Hagazuza, that's for sure. Oh, Nacho Vielma here, and he's off the map on Instagram. That's all I got. Yeah.
Armando Arvizu, gun behind the rapper. Shut up.
Damn, he's not gonna tell you anything. All right, thank you for listening.
But next week, listen next week.
Mondo's wrong. Have a good one.
We got Dazed and Confused on Hulu, and then Cooley High on Amazon Prime.
Stop proving your shit. You're wrong. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.